With the legalization of sports gambling, professional sports leagues have faced a lot of criticism, a lot of scrutiny. Calvin Ridley suspended for a full season. He had multiple wagers. And the former first-round pick, Jameson Williams, he sat out 4 games. He was placing bets in the Detroit Lions facility. Then it was announced yesterday that Jontay Porter received a ban, maybe a lifetime ban, and he was said to have made 13 bets while a member of the Raptors. One of those involved him betting on himself to underperform, and another one in a parlay betting on the Raptors to lose. So his betting habits were taken to extreme lengths, and maybe the NBA followed suit with that. But you throw away a career, young player, and but nothing's more important to these commissioners than the integrity of the sport, that that what you're seeing is real. The NBA doubled down on that precedent yesterday and suspending him. We did reach out to the NBA because I saw where Woj, some of the NBA reporters said that the player Jontay Porter was banned for life. We're looking at the press release. It doesn't say banned for life. It just says banned. Now, that's stronger than suspended, but banned, we're seeing if there's clarification there. And maybe it's semantics. Maybe it might be where you're banned. There's been players in the NBA who have been banned for life, but that was with drugs and alcohol. Roy Tarpley, I remember with the Mavs. I think he was banned for life. And then within 2 years, I think there have been 7 or 8 players banned for life in the NBA, and 6 or 7 of those got reinstated in as little as 2 years later. Yeah, Paulie.
Yeah, that's correct. I got a Washington Post story. During the drug rules, the 3-strike rules that the NBA had in the 80s and 90s, 7 different players were, quote, banned for life. It was in the release. But then in the same release said you're eligible for reinstatement in 2 years. Do you think that the NBA purposely left the for life thing out of the release in case a bigger name player, a younger, bigger name player, is suspended for something similar or caught for something similar, and it gives wiggle room to bring that player back at a date after a year suspension or more?
Until we hear from the NBA where they say, he is banned for life, we're looking at this saying, all right, they're giving wiggle room in case it's actually a name of a player that you actually recognize instead of Jontay Porter. Maybe. But I until we hear from the NBA, if there's any kind of clarification there. Todd, you reached out to them?
We have. I'm curious, too. Is that fear of setting a precedent where now a bigger player is gone forever because once you give someone a lifetime ban, everyone has to get it?
Yeah. What else do you have there, Seton?
Well, we could dive into, I'm trying to work out one about the NBA's gambling policy.
Mm-hmm.
Is it working or is it in flux, say?
Well, I think the system works, but it has to work because Vegas, all of these gambling places, these outlets, they need to have, red flags that are raised. They immediately take a bet off the board and investigation because that's their business. Their business is to protect these leagues, but also protect themselves. So the system works. It's when you had offshore bookies and that kind of stuff, that's when it was harder to trace. Now, you can't. And they acted upon this pretty quickly and able to find out that this player from the Raptors was betting with somebody else's account. They're just looking for, wow, that's weird. There's a lot of money on Jontay Porter over under. That's where you go. And how you can be this stupid. But apparently he was, they're never going to notice this. Their job is to notice this. And I think I know a lot of people are having fun with this, this brought to you by DraftKings, this update on Jontay Porter's gambling brought to you by, this is what they do. They have to monitor. They're the lifeguard on duty, and they did a great job with this. But still, it's readily available. That doesn't mean everybody is going to do it, but it is available. These accounts, you can set up an account. He was giving information to somebody else. He bet against his team. Wild stuff. And he can't blame it on not having an interpreter. I think that's probably pretty safe that if he has a press conference there. Have we reached out to Jontay Porter?
We sure have.
Okay, all right.
We call for everybody.
All right. Let's bet on if he... no, stop.
That betting against his team was part of a parlay, though, so you got to give him a little break.
Okay.
Who would have thought they'd look that deep into?
By the way, don't do parlays. You know, that's really the message that I would take away. Parlays, tough to win. Enticing. And by the way, the Dan Patrick Takes a Gamble podcast later on today will be up on the danpatrick.com site. Yes, Marvin?
Do you think the Nuggets PR just told everybody, hey, Michael Porter Jr., don't ask him any questions about his brother?
Well, that's what I was wondering about. How does this affect Michael Porter Jr. III, who plays for the Nuggets? And his brother is Jontay Porter. I mean, what did he know? I mean, you got to ask the question. Michael, were you aware that your brother was gambling?
What brother?
He's
Talk basketball.
He's dead to me.
I'd rather talk about my back injuries.
Yes. Just had a source who sent me a note that we were talking about Jontay Porter. In the press release the NBA sent out about the Toronto Raptor player, that it doesn't say a lifetime ban in the press release, but a lot of reporters have said it's a lifetime ban. And we were looking for any kind of clarification from the NBA. I heard from a source who should know this, says there is no consideration for reinstatement for Jontay Porter. So that would be a lifetime ban. No consideration. A lot of times there are lifetime bans or bans, and then you can be up for consideration a couple years later, which has happened with the NBA. It doesn't feel like that's the case because that was for drugs and alcohol. This is for gambling and betting against your team in a parlay.